Having body modifications here is like a really big deal because it's in workplace policies for various reasons, and a lot of it to me makes no sense. I feel like it's discrimination because having a few extra holes in my face, having a septum piercing, a nose piercing, colored hair doesn't affect my ability to be professional. It doesn't affect my ability to do what I'm supposed to do my job. It doesn't reflect on my intellect, but people don't get that. I'm not sure why. So last summer I had 3 jobs. I'm glad that's over. So, and I'm going to share with you those 3 jobs, their stance on how you're allowed to modify your body at work, I guess. I was a food service attendant in a theme park restaurant. I worked in fast food, and I was a slide attendant in a water park. So the first place I listed was really strict. You weren't allowed to have any jewelry at all. You weren't allowed to have watches, colored hair, anything at all. I don't understand half of their justification. One, things can fall into food and that's a health hazard. I get it. They didn't want, if somebody had a complaint or they wanted to comment on their service, they didn't want somebody to say the girl with the giant nose ring served them. They wanted to say they wanted them to say the girl with the nice smile. It's kind of shaky, but okay. The second place, a fast food restaurant, you weren't allowed much. You were allowed earrings and you could wear a watch, but no excessive bracelets. You still weren't allowed colored hair. And I kind of understand this. This goes to the first place too. You are first and foremost a business. So how different employees have the right to express themselves is secondary when in comparison to you making money. The customers coming in will have the same reservations that many people have about body modification, about piercings, visible tattoos, and if that's a problem to them, they will take their business elsewhere. So as a business, first and foremost, you're trying to secure your business, and you don't want your employees' right to express themselves how they feel to impede on you making your money. So I get it. And compare that now to the third place I worked last summer, where I was a slide attendant. Best job of my life. Stand on top of the slide and tell children or adults when they can go, tell them how to go down the slide. And working here, there weren't many rules on how you had to remove piercings or cover tattoos or anything like that. Like, people were there with shaved sides, with green hair, with purple hair, with nose rings, septum rings, earrings. Like, it was a free-for-all. What was important there is that you do your job, and that's something that I really respect. I was working in a call center. In a call center, you don't come into contact with any of the clients or the customers, but they still have those same rules. You're not allowed to have colored hair, piercings, blah, 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 blah. I came one day with my purple hair to say, oh, let me see how this is going to go. And somebody was so concerned, so worried, and she brought out her little handbook and was showing me like, oh, this isn't allowed. How long do you need off to get that changed, etc. So as soon as she was pulling out her book to show me the rules, I got a call and I spoke to a customer, dealt with his concern, came off the phone. Almost like he didn't realize that my purple hair didn't affect my ability to do my job. Almost as if it didn't affect my ability to do my job. And I don't get it, but these are the problems I have to deal with. And how I deal with this is basically I'm not yet in a position where I can do anything about it. I'm not in a position where I can live in my truth. I can say, oh, I'm expressing myself in this way, or I'm not going to be here at all because I'm about to get this money. So yeah, basically at this point of living in my truth, I do what I can get away with. Like at that place, nose ring wasn't allowed, so instead of wearing the hoop, how did you get into this video? So instead of wearing the hoop, I wore the little knob that wasn't really visible and offensive. So I do what I can and get away with what I can when I can. Eventually, I won't have to do this. I hope that everything will be fine. Like, people won't discriminate against persons on the basis of their body modification. But it's a long way to go.